Hello everybody and welcome back to our Football Manager 2017 Big Six in the Vanarama experiment. And here we are. As expected, League 2 is going according to plan. Now, we are on the 2nd of February, so this episode is going to contain... do beg my pardon there. Episode is going to contain our transfer activity for January. So we're going to take a quick look at that now. Actually, just have a look who they lost to. So they lost to... Yeah, I think we've seen them. So the results, the teams are still strong everywhere. Teams are still very, very strong. But let's have a little look. Eric Lamela moved on to Chelsea. So the team's actually buying players from each other, which is quite mad. Eric Lamela, obviously we knew about all them. Eric Lamela is one from January. Ovi Ajaria is one from January as well, but they're not big transfers. We're going to have a little look at who these clubs have still got in their team. Let's go through it quickly. I mean, this is when we can sort of dissect into it a little bit because the league is going exactly as we would expect it to. I mean, look, they still got Mignolet. I mean, they re-signed Glenn Johnson and was retiring. I mean, has he served them well in any way? Well, that doesn't really matter. But still got Joel Matip and Sacco and Kieran Gibbs, Douglas, Jordan Henderson, Grujic, Wijnaldum, Hal Robson-Khan, who's playing in League 2 for Liverpool. It's craziness. Perotti, not sure who Michel Plant is, but Harry Wilson's one of the younger ones that would have come through. George Cartwright, I'd imagine, is another similar one. Daniel Sturridge is still there, but I imagine these players are starting to get old now. This is why, coming back to my thing about bleeding your youngsters through as you rise through the leagues. The only thing is, are they going to reach their potential playing in these lower leagues? So there's an argument against what I've said. But then, there we go. There's Liverpool's squad. Man City, in their squad, they have Harry Kane. Not sure who Marlos Moreno is. They got Unal. So they got some under-21 players in their first team there, which is good to see. Callum McGregor, I said he was going to be a bit of a shrewd signing. He hasn't played a great season so far. I mean, he's got a few assists and a few goals, but his average rating isn't the same as the others. Raheem Sterling still plays. And they've trained him into being a wing-back, which is a pretty good thing. Versatility is good in these kind of leagues. We've been playing a lot of games. Marcos Alonso, the Chelsea. I'll tell you what, that's a bloody good team. Pablo Mari, John Stones and Jamal Lascelles. Yeah, there's no doubt that these teams are obviously still making a lot of money being in these lower leagues. I imagine their ticket prices would have had to come down. They're still making good money, obviously, through merchandising. I mean, they still hold their reputations. So, with these kind of teams, yeah, I think all of them are going to, within 3 years, all of them are going to be back in the Premier League. Put my neck out on that one. Let's go and have a look at the teams in League 1 right now. Okay, so Chelsea running away with it somewhat. Are we rolling? We certainly are rolling. Sorry, I just had to check then. Chelsea running away with it a little bit. Tottenham are being held back with a couple of draws and a couple of losses. Both of them against Chelsea. Chelsea have lost to Wickham. But the results, they're not mental results at all. Let's have a look at these transfers. As I say, it's all going according to plan with all of this now. We knew Jesus had gone from Chelsea. So Chelsea have signed Lamela. So that's a Coventry player going to Sturm Graz. Coventry getting in on the action. What's going on? So there's not a lot of business that's gone on in January. Let's have a little look who these teams have got. Let's go with Chelsea first. Chelsea have still got Begovic in goal. He'll be quality in this division. Phil Jones and Damian, obviously they've raided Manchester United in the past. Kurt Zuma and Baba Rahman. They've still got some capable backups as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is still going here. Conte, Lamela, Conrado, Portillo, Kennedy, Tammy Abraham scoring the goals, and that's where my argument that these players are going to be worth having, because I guess where they're not playing against great players every time, as they're going up in the leagues, they're going to be gradually getting there. So when it comes to them ending up in the Premier League, they're going to be set, I think. I honestly think that they're going to be set. So Tammy Abraham is going to be a top Premier League striker if Chelsea don't sell him, mind. Because they've still got 2 seasons, well, a season and a bit until they should be back in the Premier League. Let's have a little look at Tottenham and who they got in their team right now. So Tottenham still got Hugo Lloris, Kevin Wimmer, Subotic. I remember they signed him for nothing, if my memory serves me right. Kyle Walker's still there, Danny Rose is still there. It's funny how they can keep Kyle Walker through League Two, the National League and League One, but they can't keep him in the Premier League in real life. James Forrest is a bit of a shrewd one, although he's not really being used. Probably because they got Moussa Sissoko playing right wing. Geez, Ericsson and ooh, this is a youngster coming through here. This is quite interesting. Maybe that's where they're being held back a little bit because they haven't got any real proven strikers. But the main one is this guy. Then let's have a little quick look at him. So he's just a hot prospect. Stats are not looking overly great. I mean, he's valued at 8.5 million, so there's got to be something really special about him. Hot prospect. So, is this going to be where Chelsea have got Tammy Abraham? Is this going to be the one that does it for Tottenham? You know, kind of like what's happening with Chelsea. Is he going to be a big Premier League player one day? That's if they don't sell him on their journey back. Anyway, quite interesting stuff. Let's have a look at what's going on in the Championship right now. Okay, so pretty much as expected with the top two, but Arsenal are 10 points adrift of, 10 points in front of United. United have lost some games here against some smaller clubs, and they've drawn a few. But I say it's nothing to be alarmed about. I mean, they're still 13 points clear of third in Leeds United. So yeah, they're going to be in the Premier League again next year. This is when it's going to get interesting because are they going to smash the Premier League? Well, let's have a look what kind of transfer activity they've done in January. So looking at this, there's not. Well, freaking hell, there's loads of things that gone on, but not in January by the looks of it in the Championship. Oh, there's one. Callum Robinson, Huddersfield. No, you want to see that. It's going to be quite difficult to dissect all these unless we do that. So we can see Arsenal. Arsenal letting a lot of players go, including Danny Welbeck. What? Okay, so in January, did Arsenal let anyone go? Bunch of loans. Nope. Scroll down to Manchester United. If this thing will let me. It's going mental on me, man. What's going on? So I'm not going to bother doing this. It doesn't look like they've really done anything. There was nothing with big money anywhere. So there was nothing that we're going to really want to see. Let's have a little look who Arsenal still are playing for them. So they still got some good players there. When we go up, so Sam Johnstone is like a backup goalkeeper, but he's played their last game. Miles Villar, I know who he is, and he does get good on this game. So I'd imagine, because of how accurate Football Manager is, he's going to be a big goalkeeper in real life. So we've still got Bellerin, Emre Can. We've got some really recognisable names there. Alexis Sanchez and Ozil on the bench, mind you. Aaron Ramsey, Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Chuba Akpom would have been coming on now. But I think they must have sold a striker or something. Because who was playing up front for them every game? Well, anyway, this top, I don't think they really care, do they? So, Man United, who they got on their squad? Still a lot of good players. Yeah. Eric Dyer still playing for them. Obviously, he was signed from Spurs, I think, a couple of years ago. Daley Blind still there. Bailly, Luke Shaw, injured. There's a surprise. Alex Iwobi playing for them. Ander Herrera's still there. Mkhitaryan, Pogba. Who's Esteban Cow? I don't know who he is. I don't think I've heard of him. 19-year-old Argentinian. Signed for 3.7 million from, I think we did see this, didn't we? Maybe at the beginning of the season. But yeah, 3.7 million he cost. He's obviously banging the goals in. Man United are second place. They're going to be in the Premier League next year, so I don't think they're going to care, really. So there we go. So our teams, our big six, nothing major on the transfer activity, but giving an insight of who's still playing for them. You know, they're managing to keep these players at their clubs for so, in these lower leagues for so long. But like I say, they're going to be Premier League again next year, Man United and Arsenal. And looking at the players they've still got, looking at who they may buy as well with whatever money they've got, could be that they'll be installed as favourites for the Premier League straight away. But let's look how this season will finish off. Okay then, everybody. Obviously, we took a bit of time looking at the squads of our big six, so we're not going to go over the ends of the competition too much. Obviously, the inevitable happened. Man City, Liverpool finished top two, and top goal scorer was Harry Kane, as expected. Let's jump to League One. And again, as expected there, Chelsea, Tottenham finishing in the top two, and then top goal scorer turned out to be Tammy Abraham. So there we go, let's see the champion. And as expected, Man United and Arsenal are both going to be in the Premier League next season, the first of the big six to make it back. But Arsenal won that league by a massive distance. Man United ended up losing 8 games, so they only really got promoted on the back of a points total that would sometimes not see them. Well, 98 points is going to see you promoted, of course, but we've seen teams, regular championship teams, get promoted on the back of a lot more than 98 in the past. So yeah, well, there we go. That's just how it happens. They're there. They'll be okay next season. Overview. Yeah, as expected, Sanchez was the top scorer, but with the absence of the big six now, 2 of them are going to be back. Let's have a look and see which team capitalised on winning a Premier League title. That team, of course, well, not of course, but yep, that team was Leicester. Derby went last time, but Leicester, well, Derby finished 10th this time. That's crazy. Just goes to show how unpredictable the Premier League would be if you did take your big 6-8. I mean, Brighton had a good season. Hull had a good season. You never know who's going to capitalise on the big six not being there. I mean, Aston Villa finishing bottom, still having a bad time of it. But obviously, Premier League have dropped down in their reputation to 4th in the world. Will that go back up now? The 2 of the big six are back. Over the next 3 years, will that reputation come back? Because I'm fully expecting Chelsea and Tottenham to join Arsenal, Man United next year, and then Liverpool and Man City should join them again. I say it's not a massive points total to win the league with, really, is it? 9 losses. Who wins the Premier League with 9 losses now? Just goes to show how much of a difference the Big Six makes on the Premier League. But let's have a look at the cup competitions. I think we may have forgot to do that last year. Brighton won the FA Cup. It's mental. None of the Big Six really got far in it. Let's looking at this, bloody hell. Telling me that the best they did was the 5th round, and well, considering the players that they've still got, I'd still would have expected these big 6 teams to get further in the cups. What about the league? So West Ham winning the League Cup. None of the big 6 got far, did they? Again in this, jeez. God, where are they all? Did none of them even get this far? Something's off here. So Liverpool went out to Cardiff at home. Freaking hell. Tottenham obviously must have made it through. Obviously I missed them on the last page. Man United went out to Brentford. Chelsea went out to Preston. Good God. Awful season for them in the cup competitions, but I wonder who won the Checkatrade Trophy, that's the point. It's Tottenham won the Checkatrade Trophy to beat Notts County. So the Southern Section semi-final seen Tottenham knock Chelsea out. So the Northern Section semi-final, Notts County knocked Liverpool out. Well. That's mad. But there we go. Like, I suppose that's just how it goes. But at least the teams are getting there in the leagues. They're getting there in the leagues. But how are England doing in Europe right now? So the Champions League has been played, the final. Atletico Madrid have won it. And the semi-final, no English teams. Quarter-final, no English teams. First knockout round, one English team. Good God. West Ham were the only English team to make it through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Let's have a look at the Europa League. Remember, English teams are doing quite well. Well, none of them made the final this year. Semi-final, no one. Quarter-final, no one. This is alarming. Leicester made the second knockout round, so did Derby and Southampton. Don't think that's going to be quite good enough. Let's have a little look at the qualification places. So at the moment, England is still in fourth in the qualification places. Italy, for some reason, have managed to get themselves 5 places in the Champions League. Now, I'm not sure if that's maybe because they had a team who finished outside of their top 4 who won the Europa League last year. Possibly, that's pretty much how it's happening in real life now this season. England do have 5 Champions League representatives. England only with 3 in each competition. But the coefficients are not good, you know. They're not good at all. They're in 8th. Coefficient-wise, England are 8th. Obviously, England will lose that 33,000. And this season, they've made 34. Probably going to stay in the top 10 there, but being an 8th, that's not good because the qualification places are dependent on your coefficients. So, no, it's not looking good. So I think having Arsenal, Man United back, I think both of them need to qualify for the Champions League and buy big. And I think, hopefully, those teams will get themselves back into the Champions League and do well. Because I think England needs it. Anyway, that's the end of this episode for now then, guys. Some very weird cup results, I'm going to say. I expected our team to do better in the cups, but as I said, it's been quite predictable. I think it's going to get more interesting now because the next episode is going to be the start of the season where Arsenal and Man United are back in the Premier League. So this could get interesting now. So I hope you guys stick with this. Thanks all of you who are watching this. Could do with a bit more feedback. What do you guys think of it? You know, how are you finding the results that are coming through on this experiment? Would love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks again for watching and we'll see you again next time. Cheerio for now. Bye-bye.